All right, good evening. It's 6:31. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. If we could have the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you like to lead us in that, Jared?
Yeah. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Great, thank you. If we could have roll call, please.
We have Chair John Cornell. We have Vice Chair Matthew Johnston.
Here.
We have Commissioner Clark Kramer.
Here.
We have Commissioner Gerald Abramson.
Here.
Commissioner Steve Tannehill.
Here.
Commissioner Colvin, Sean Colvin. We have Commissioner Bruce Martin. We have Commissioner Richard Wyatt.
Here.
And we have Commissioner Mark McCamish. We do have excused Commissioners John Cornell, Sean Colvin, and Bruce Martin. We do, McCamish is currently not here, and we do have currently a quorum for tonight.
All right, great, thank you. Just as a point of order, do we have any changes to the agenda, or is everything going to flow as presented?
Acting Chair Johnson, we do not have any adjustments, changes to the agenda tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. So if we could move to item 4, approval of the minutes from our November 12th meeting.
I've reviewed the minutes and I make a motion, we approve them.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, let's take a roll call for that, please.
We have Vice Chair Matthew Johnston.
Yes.
We have Commissioner Kramer,
Yes.
Commissioner Abramson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tannehill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wyatt.
Yes.
Okay, and that motion passes unanimously 5-0.
Okay, great. Moving into public comment period, could staff please review the general public comments definitions?
To members of the public who wish to address the commission tonight, with the live public comments on any agenda item, please visit airports.venturacounty.gov/meetings calendar for participation instruction, streaming links, meeting IDs, and passcodes. In-person speakers will be called upon first, followed by remote participants. Speakers will be called to speak after the agenda item is presented. For in-person public comment, please fill out a speaker card and submit it to the secretary before the end of the public comment period. For remote participants via Zoom or telephone, please accept the prompt to be promoted to speak and unmute your mic when it's your turn to speak. Members of the public are allowed in minutes per speaker per listed agenda item at a single meeting. Unless the time allotted is increased or decreased by the chair depending on the number of speakers, please use your time accordingly.
Okay, great. And because we do have a public comment that isn't necessarily associated to an agenda item, so I'm going to ask that speaker Mark Malone, if you'd like to address. Yes, that would be great.
Your 3 minutes will begin when you start speaking.
So I'm Mark Malone. I've been a Camarillo airport tenant since 1984, renting box hangar 280 in the midfield hangar group. I've been at the airport for 41 years and this specific hangar for 30 years. The only work the county has done on this particular hangar is to add LED lights. The box hangars in my row basically need no work. My question is simple. Why do we need more large jet hangars at Camarillo Airport? Very few Camarillo or Ventura County residents own private jets. So why should the residents of Camarillo be struck with a dramatic increase in jet operations, virtually all flying over Old Town at low altitude? If 350 feet of large hangars are built in place of the midfield hangars, it would equal both of Air 7's hangars and have the potential to house 20 jets inside with another 20 on their combined ramp. This could be 2,000 more jet takeoffs and 2,000 more jet landings if these jets flew 2 times a week. The midfield hangars are simple steel and sheet metal, and they have not been kept in good repair, but they could be easily repaired, so that should be the first option. The second option should replace the T hangars with what they are, T hangars for small airplanes. There are about 350 other similar hangars at Camarillo Airport, and the county and private owners have kept them operational. It seems the prime space of the midfield hangars has led to attempts to tear it out and build facilities for very large jets as they pay the most. It is in the best interest of the residents and voters of Camarillo to repair the midfield hangars and maybe in 20 years look at replacing them with the same number of small aircraft hangars of the same size. These small aircraft hangar tenants are the airport's locally residing customers. Wiping out T hangars and box hangars is not in the best interest of the local resident hangar tenants. Camarillo is a training airport with thousands of student operations mixed in with fast jets already operating into Camarillo. It's compounded by having a single runway and having a tower that's considered a training facility. Old Town does not want jet flights over it already, and neither do the residents. Thousands of new apartment residents now line the 101 freeway at Santa Rosa. Noise complaints will just increase, and eventually voters will find a way to unite against this massive and necessary new invasion of private jets, with the largest costing $75 million. Camarillo does not need to become the overflow parking lot for the private jets of the rich and famous. Let's just serve the local airport users and protect the residents' tranquil life in Camarillo. Thank you. It's a wrong project.
Great, thank you. Okay. Seeing no other general comments, let's move to item 6, the consent agenda. We have two items under there. Do we have a motion for the consent agenda items?
This is Kramer. I make a motion to approve the consent agenda items A and B.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any public comment on that?
No, there's currently no public comment on that item.
Okay, and any advisory comments, commissioners? All right, roll call, please.
We have Vice Chair Johnston,
Yes.
Commissioner Kramer,
Yes.
Commissioner Abramson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tanhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wyatt,
Yes.
Commissioner McCamish. Okay, that motion passes unanimously 5-0.
Okay, moving on to the regular agenda items. The annual fund chair and vice chair roles with just over half of our members here. So Keith, you have any comments?
Yeah, no, Chair, this, as you mentioned, as outlined in the bylaws, each year in January starts the new election of the chair and vice chair. So that is for you to make a motion and recommend and elect, and then typically move right into those appointments, and that new chair would take over immediately. So best of
Okay.
luck.
I'd like to make a motion, if possible.
You're up.
I'd like to make a motion. So, Matthew Johnson, as you are already leading the meeting, as the vice chair, I make a motion that we elect you as the chair of the.
I'll second that.
Okay, well, wonderful for that. I guess I need to accept that. I'll accept that that nomination, and I would like to make a motion to then reciprocate and move that Clark is as the vice chair.
I'll second that emotion. I'm
Vice
sorry.
Chair-
I've been listening to music too much.
Vice Chair
Second that
Johnston.
motion.
We need to
It-
move on the first one.
Yes, thank you so much for the record. It's clean.
Yeah, it's painful, but okay, so we have a motion and second and an acceptance of the nomination. If there's no other nominations, I guess a roll call on that.
For the first one, as the chair.
For the
Pick
first
the
one
one
as
as
the
the
chair,
second.
yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I would just like to note that for the chair, we have a motion from Kramer and then Abramson?
Yeah.
And the second from Abramson? Okay. And then we'll do roll call. We have Vice Chair Johnston,
I'll abstain.
we have Commissioner Kramer,
Yes.
Commissioner Abramson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tanhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wyatt,
Yes.
Commissioner McCamish. Okay, that motion passes unanimously 5-0 with one abstention, 4-0 with one abstention.
Okay. Well, as your chair, we'll move on to the vice chair. I'd like to move for that Clark serve as vice chair. I'd like to nominate Clark.
And I'll second that motion.
Any other nominations? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are you willing to accept that nomination?
I'm willing to serve as needed,
Okay,
especially after I nominated.
I was gonna say, be
It's the
careful,
least I could do.
be careful, right? All right, so with that, no other nominations, roll call, please.
We have Vice Chair Johnston,
Yes.
we have Commissioner Kramer,
Abstain.
Commissioner Abramson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tanhill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wyatt,
Yes.
and Commissioner McCamish. Okay, the motion passes unanimously 4-0 with one abstention.
Okay, thank you and congratulations, Clark, and me, I guess.
Congratulations, man. I just want to say,
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes.
From our first day meeting years ago.
I've been here for a while, seen a lot of chairs, and I just think, Matt, you do an incredible job of making sure the public gets heard, following the process, being clear, keeping, and I just really respect that and appreciate that. And I look forward to more of the same in the new year.
Well, thank you. No pressure there.
Don't
with
screw
that-
it up.
Yeah.
And just for the record, there is no public comment.
I was gonna say, is there any public comments there? I've
No.
been getting trained on that.
Yeah.
All right, good. No public comments. Let's move on to subject B. Kind of a continuation. I think we had a good discussion last time. We kind of agreed to continue the discussion. I think there were some really good points that were raised at the last meeting for all of us to kind of ruminate on. And Keith, do you have any comments regarding this?
No, all I'll follow up is recommended in the memo as part of the packet is Article 7. That's part of my recommendation. Is obviously you could have discussion tonight about the item, but kicking it to an ad hoc allows a lot of flexibility and some research and diving deep into the issue. That ad hoc up to 4 members of the committee could be sent off to do some of that deep work and then bring their recommendation ultimately back to this commission for further discussion and ultimately a decision recommendation. So that's my point. Although again, deeper, healthy discussions could happen again tonight and ideas. So.
Well, I think, I mean, I'll just start with an initial comment that staff's recommendation for some ad hoc is something I'm willing to support because I think it allows for a more fluid discussion that can resource all of the different information that's necessary and bring back to the rest of us in the sense of like, what have we looked into? Let's look at this from a pragmatic standpoint and the pros and cons for it so we can have true consideration so that we can give appropriate advice to the authority or whatever bodies regarding kind of where we stand on this. So I just letting it known that I support the kind of ad hoc direction that staff recommended, and it would just be a function if there's consensus or agreement on that as we discuss this briefly, then just putting that group together. So commissioners, any comments?
I'm trying to figure out if I'm for it or against it because I'm kind of stuck in the middle here because before, as I stated, that if anything, the authority of the Oxnard and Camarillo are to us, not to us to them. Okay, so what are we doing here? We should be doing what with the in the bylaws it says that we should that we do, and the bylaws tells us. And the thing is everything can be changed by the supervisor, but it's the supervisors that change this. We don't change it. And we can talk all night long, and there's nothing we can do about changing it. It's the bylaw, and I can see the bylaws can be changed because it says on here that they have already changed them in the past. So if somebody wants something done, and to me, it's like it kind of thing. The authority is actually to us. We're not to them. It says in the bylaws of theirs and ours that they, there's nothing in our bylaw besides saying that they listen to us. And basically, they don't really represent everybody. And that's what my problem was before. I told you that they don't represent the whole Ventura County. And that's a real problem for me. I don't care what you come up with in a group of people that are going to discuss it. It comes down to the main point that if anything, you should get rid of the authorities and have people, yeah, I know you're laughing, but basically, and let them appoint the city of Camarillo, appoint some more people on the commission. You know, I don't understand. To me, it's like, what else is going on here? Why does this need to be done? I don't understand it. It says right in the bylaws what each of these our groups do. And I'm pretty sure that in our bylaw, in their IBAR laws, it says that they're supposed to listen to us, not we listen to them.
Well, so maybe I could provide some clarity because this issue has come up many times and it is in the bylaws. The entities are very distinct. There is no overlap between the two. They're separate and distinct. So be very clear in that. You are correct that anything, and that's where I think this question is appropriate. Whatever the recommendation ultimately is to have this discussion because it will be this committee that ultimately will make a recommendation correctly to the full board, not to the authority, to the full board because they're the ones that approve the bylaws in which you operate right now. So the authority is not in this matter at all. It has nothing to do with it. They are their own entity, separated, created separately, have their own bylaws, all those Oxnard and Camarillo airport authorities. So the question really is, and that goes to this whole question. It's come up multiple times, quite frankly, in the last 50 years. But right now, the question is how you are structured right now the most effective, efficient way of serving the people, the board, the Department of Airports in information sharing? Is that the most effective? That's really the question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
get
fair question.
beyond asking the board to disappear is beyond me because I look at the thing and it says right in the bylaws it says the commission is not subordinate to the authorities.
Right. So
Yeah.
that is separate.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the real question is this the most effective way in which the commission operates? That's the question.
I would,
And the answer may be as it is the best way. That could be, but that's the question. At
Okay,
hand that I've
so
heard. Yeah.
when I first got on this commission, and I know Clark, excuse me real quick, the question was raised. I think it was one of my first meetings I showed up to, and you guys, you were already on the commission, and it was being raised, and it was a different set of people. They've been serving for 20 years, lots of history. And again, this forum is really difficult to really get in because I agree with you, Jerry. I mean, there's the bylaws, there's a lot of legal things, there's a lot to look into. And I felt back then, I was new and didn't really comment much, that there needed to be more research and kind of more understanding, because I felt that we were just kind of emotionally reacting to necessarily, or that's how I felt that the vote was. It was more of a versus, really digging into the effectiveness and the structures, and to your point, Jared, bylaws change all the time, right? So they have to morph with the time and the day and all the technologies, whatnot, that affect different boards. So that's what I kind of liked about this staff recommendation, because it allows for a more thoughtfulness to really take a look at it. Because Jerry, at the end of the day, it stays exactly how it is. And
Yeah.
and I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
I can see nothing better than working out what we could do for, better for the community.
Yeah, I would
That-
love,
that's-
because there's
my
a
point. As far as what we do, that's what we do. We do what the bylaws tell us to do.
Yeah.
Beyond that, if we were, how can we more reach out to the community? How can we have more, more people saying it? How can we have more people come to these meetings?
And let's be honest too, even if we make a recommendation, it may not be accepted
Yeah. there
because
you
we
go.
can't change our own bylaws.
It's a supervisor to change everything. We don't
Correct.
change anything,
This would only be, and again, I think with when you look at the discussion item and it says restructuring, repurposing, and or other modifications that would increase the effectiveness and efficiency of the AAC. And I think
Yeah.
I think we can all, I mean, that's a broad brushstroke, but I think
Yeah.
in general, I think we,
Yeah.
I don't want to be inefficient and ineffective.
No.
Right?
Well,
But
So-
it's a matter of making it more efficient. It's not,
Right.
it's not releasing it, It's
So,
like-
and
just for the sake of, public and all of us, let's one at a time. Let's try to, because we're getting into it. So Jerry, you had an additional comment?
I had my comment.
Okay. Clark, anything further?
I just think I think there's a real value to it because it should always be our goal to be relevant, right? And if we are inefficient and ineffective, that makes us less relevant. And so I'm for it. I think we should do an ad hoc. And again, I'm relatively new.
I don't see
and-
where we're relevant.
No. I'm just saying that should be our goal is to,
Yeah.
how does that work? I mean, even the timing of the
It's
meeting.
more
right?
to service people.
Correct.
There you go.
So I think that there's a value in that and then making recommendations, which may or may not get approved.
Yeah.
So
Steve, you have a comment?
thank you, Matt, and thank you, everybody. I think we're very much on the same page. And when I got involved, it was over noise issues similar to what Camarillo is experiencing. And we were told, there were people on the board at that time said, why are we even talking about noise? Well, if you look at the bylaws, number one that we're supposed to deal with is airport and aviation related noise and environmental issues. It's number one. So I think, and I would ask the new members, have you had a bylaw session with anybody to walk through the bylaws and see what they say and see what our purview is? Because I never received that when I came on. I had to kind
I
of
had to look
discover
it
it
up.
myself.
Other than my own reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that's what I see we should be doing is have an ad hoc committee and really let's dig into what we should be doing because there's a lot of anecdotal history. And again, people who are on the board for 25 years and I think hadn't perhaps looked at the bylaws. But yeah, when PFAS comes up, the same thing. There's why are we talking about PFAS? Number one, environmental issues. And it goes on. There was another one where we had a community group present. And right after that, a commissioner said, why on earth are we having the community present? And if you look at our bylaws, it says right here, let me find the section, the commission from time to time shall seek and receive information from the general public. So I think we need to sit down, really understand our bylaws, understand what we can and should be doing, and then how do we use that to be more effective, more responsive, and be more of interest to the community? Because, honestly, I think if we make it interesting to ourselves and others, people will come in and, we're entitled to get agencies of the federal government. We've never had the FAA present. We've never had Brownlee in her office come and talk to us. We had our ATCs, we're not getting paid. Right? What's the implication of that? Well, how about let's get Brownlee come and have her staff or the FAA come? Or how about so I think we should have a commission. I think there's a lot more we can and should be doing that's within our purview that maybe for whatever reason we've not embraced, but with a new team and new energy, I think maybe we can do that.
And I appreciate those comments too, because I think there's a lot we can do. And I want to be cautious in terms of putting a ad hoc together that we don't just go down rabbit trails of, bylaw reconstruction or things like that. If we put an ad hoc together, we need to, be specific with what answer or what question we're trying to get answered so that committee doesn't then start to do work that is, I guess, mission creep, if you will. And so we need to be very cautious on that because I think you raised some good points. If, the determination is that, I'm involved with 5 different airports. My daughter serves in San Diego County on the advisory and stuff down there. A lot of the same issues. This is the only airport district that I'm involved with that has so many layers. There's the advisory, there's 2 authorities, there's the board of supervisors. And I think they all have a place and a time. And the question just needs to be, how maybe it's the frequency of the meeting. Maybe it's I think that's the questions that can just start getting raised as far as, are these structures still, purposeful, right? And I know, Jerry, you expressed your view on it. I think you should be part of that ad hoc if we do that. So there's someone from your district, I think it's District 4, where you talk about their representation and in my district, right, there's not the same airport, passions because the audience isn't necessarily served in an airport community, right, as compared to others that deal with noise and such, Steve, like in your district.
I can tell you, still, I deal with noise.
But
That where I live, there's actually a training area.
But my point,
Yeah.
my point being is there's different variations that each district kind of has, and we need to maybe address that. So again, I support that, we put together an ad hoc. It's unfortunate, we had the same thing at last meeting. We don't have the full 9 members and we have 1 vacancy. It'd be nice to have all 9. And again, I think an ad hoc allows the thoughtfulness for us to even give consideration to the people that aren't here, right? In the districts they represent. So I'd welcome a motion to kind of move forward with putting the ad hoc. And is that something we would motion on or just put together an ad hoc?
I have another question. You're talking about the ad hoc. Is it limited just 4 or can you have more?
It's 4.
You
I think.
cannot have a majority, so the 4 is the max.
Okay, and can each district could be representative or only 1 representative from each district? Or
You couldn't because you have 5.
Yeah, the way I see it working based on the staff recommendation is that we'd put an ad hoc together that would dive into the question, right, in terms of the advisory's effectiveness or, role as it exists now. And I think there's other questions, Steve, as far as, once those questions are answered, then if the advisory, then it's a dive into the bylaws and really understand the purpose. But that 4-member group would then just kind of report back to, their findings. Keith?
Chair, if I can make a recommendation, because I've done a whole bunch of ad hocs, is that you establish the ad hoc, whomever that is, and their first assignment is to come back with a scope
Okay.
of what they're gonna look, so you don't get the creep, and you all agree to the scope in which they will research and then come back.
Like that a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the question I think is on the table is how do we make this commission more effective and relevant? That's what I think that's the question I understand we came away with. And so I would think the ad hoc committee would, and if you look at it, some meetings last 20 minutes. Last year we canceled every other meeting, presumably because we had nothing to talk about, which I don't quite track that personally. I think there's plenty to talk about. So I think those are the challenges we want to come up with is how and we in 2026, we're supposed to meet once a month. How do we have meetings that are meaningful and relevant and pertinent to the community, to the supervisors, to the challenges the airports face? That's the question I see.
And I think to Keith's recommendation, that scope, could come back and we can all, agree to that type of scope. So anyway, I'd welcome a motion to kind of form an ad hoc and then, I guess, determine members of it if it so moves that.
I'll second that motion.
Did you make the motion?
Sure did.
He was looking for a motion. You're
Hey,
making.
Am I making a motion?
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Jerry.
I thought you were doing that, man.
He was looking for a.
I'm looking for one.
Oh, you're looking for one. Yeah, I'll make a motion that we have an ad committee.
I'll second it.
Okay. Is there any public comment? Okay. Any further comments from the commission? Okay.
Should we,
Do we have to roll call and then we'll pick the members?
So how was the members picked?
Well, that's what we're gonna take volunteers first.
Okay.
Are you volunteering?
Yes.
Okay. Let's,
Okay, we'll do roll call. We have Vice Chair Johnston.
yes.
We have Commissioner Kramer,
Yes.
Commissioner Abramson,
Yes.
Commissioner Tanhill,
yes,
Commissioner Wyatt,
Yes.
and Commissioner McCamish. Okay, that motion passes unanimously 5-0.
All right. So I think we've made progress right there. And so now, I'd welcome who's interested in serving on this.
well, one thought I have is unless you, Matt, wanted to be on it and you've got a pretty full plate.
I'm
Yeah,
going to not be on it.
That's what I was kind of thinking without
There's
thinking.
four of
then
us
that-
here right now.
I'd see 4 people here, and if the 4 of us wanted to do
Yeah.
it, I think we've got a ad hoc committee, and I think it would be a good one.
Is there any issue with 2 from the same district?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Again, ad
Yeah.
hoc, there are not limits. Technically, the chair has the authority to appoint and decide, but there is not specific. And as the chair pointed out, it's some of the districts have more connection to the communities than others. So again, having multiple from a community that's more in connection with the airports is not inappropriate by any means, but
Well,
that is your discretion.
And I have another question, second question, while you're up there. Save you the trouble of going back.
No worries.
My understanding is the ad hoc committee also falls under the Brown. Is that correct?
We will research that, but it is not. It has way more flexibility than all the postings and Steve was shaking his head. Yeah.
Oh,
the
I was just,
Are nowhere near.
in my
so.
prior lifetime, I was on a public school board
Okay.
and very much subject to the Brown Act, and ad hoc committees were not.
Okay.
But they have to be less than the majority. And we cannot, which we won't do. It's, yeah. So anyway, you should
Yeah, I mean, the
research it, but that's
guidelines
my
change all
understanding.
the time, so that's why I'm not giving you all of the, we will research that.
Right,
and make
okay, I
sure
just
that-
want to,
But they are much
Fill
more
me out.
flexibility, which is the purpose of having ad hoc. And as Steve mentions, why you can't have a majority when you create them.
Well, if there's interest here, the only pause I have is, the other members, right? So I think we're trying to get this rolling tonight, but unless there's another way around it, right, to give maybe some of the absent members an opportunity to put their, I'd like to appoint you, Clark, to take the lead on that ad hoc.
Okay.
And we need 3 other members then to be part of that. I think also, Steve, given your representation in the community and the experience there, I think it'd be good for you to be on that as well. So I'd like to appoint you to that, and then
I volunteered.
you volunteered, so you're there. Jerry, you seem very passionate about the topic, so I think that makes sense for you to also be serving on that. So then that brings 3, and then you want to volunteer and get in the mix and balance everybody. So if you're okay with that, Clark, I think then, all 4 of those tonight.
So, yeah, I think that's a good start. Again, we've had the good discussion about it. I think it keeps it, actually will potentially lead to some sort of recommendation sooner. If we're all read into it, because we're, and willing.
Okay, so with that, I think we have moved that forward, and we'll look for that scope from you, Clark, in a future meeting. We can talk, I guess, with the chair, if you just keep me posted on what you need as far as I'll work with Keith on agenda items and stuff accordingly. Okay. All right. So thank you guys very much. I think our professionalism through these topics and our ability to really look at the best interest of everything involved is important. So thank you for everyone's professionalism in that dialogue. So let's move on to item C, the receive and file monthly staff update. So
Good evening to you all. I'm Jeanette Haregi, the Communications and Engagement Manager and Public Information Officer for the Department of Airports. Tonight, I'm eager to share the latest feature story highlighting the little-known facts of the day-to-day operations of both Camarillo and Oxnard airports. Tonight's story focuses on the established partnerships between the Department of Airports and the air traffic control teams. The air traffic control teams at any airport in the nation are the backbone of ensuring the safe and efficient movement of aircraft through the layered complexities of airspace. They are at the mercy of the weather, whether it be cloud cover, winds, or rain, and are repeatedly stretched to capacity on the busiest of days. All the while, they are expected to perform with incredible attention to detail, utilizing every element of their intense and high-demand training to keep everyone safe, whether in the air or on the ground. The Ventura County Department of Airports is fortunate to have established partnerships with the air traffic control teams at both Camarillo and Oxnard airports. Partnerships that are deeply rooted in the shared goals of process improvement, transparency, and the building of relationships with the community. When Fly Friendly BC launched in September 2022, it was immediately clear that the success of the program was dependent on, quite frankly, buy-in from the air traffic control teams, who operate independently from the Department of Airports as a critical piece of the Federal Aviation Administration puzzle. Without hesitation, the tower managers at both Camarillo Airport and Oxnard Airport were on board with Fly Friendly BC, knowing that improvements to airport operations with all stakeholders in mind would play a vital role in the overall success of the airports. Since the launch, there now exists an established line of communication between the Department of Airport staff and both towers, with monthly reports of operation data and, most importantly, immediate access to information related to air traffic in the area. That access not only provides Department of Airports staff with a clear understanding of the conditions surrounding a particular operation, but it also allows staff to establish consistent communication with the public with an ultimate goal of building awareness and trust. Additionally, that line of communication provides the Department of Airports the opportunity to ensure that Fly Friendly DC remains a priority and that the program itself continues to improve with feedback from not just neighbors in the community and pilots, but also from members of the tower teams themselves. Of equal importance is a mutual effort between the Department of Airports and both tower teams to bridge the gap between the community and air traffic control operations, not just through communication, but through access to the top of the tower where the teams are hard at work. Through the Department of Airports tour program, of which both towers are a part, members of the community have direct access to seeing the work of the air traffic controllers firsthand, providing what becomes an exciting experience for younger visitors and an educational experience for older visitors like Logan, a high school junior who was interested in pursuing a career as an air traffic controller, who was able to speak to Lee Westfall, the tower manager at Oxnard Airport, who has invested nearly 50 years as an air traffic controller in airports throughout the region. That kind of direct access not only inspires careers, feeding the future of the industry, but it provides an opportunity to better understand the complex nature of the federal regulations surrounding airspace and why programs like Fly Friendly BC operate the way they do. Moving forward, the Department of Airports will remain committed to this partnership and the ongoing work of strengthening the connection between the community and the sky. And here's a picture from last month. A couple weeks ago, Logan, second from the right, is the local high school student who visited the air traffic control tower at Oxnard Airport and got to have a good visit with both of our air traffic controllers and talk to them in detail about their experiences and he left feeling pretty inspired. He's there with his father on the far right. So it was a good experience for him and for all the folks all the kids, lots of different age groups that have gone up to the top of both towers. It's a very positive experience for them.
Great. Well, first, I want to say thank you for all these reports. Since you've come on board and started to highlight the different things that, I think the community gets to see that are going on at the airports, or in this case, the operational kind of core of what is behind an airport and how it functions. Kudos to you for finding these stories and these incredible kind of, I guess, soldiers in the tower that are, helping keep all of us safe, and the sky's a good place for us to be. And I think the efforts that were made and specifically at Oxnard for the traffic patterns and the fly friendly that we have in whole Ventura County, the tower staff has definitely been a huge part of that. So thank you for highlighting them, and thanks to the tower. I don't think there's anybody here tonight representing them, but they do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I also want to comment, thank you for these briefings. I appreciate, just like he does, learning what's going on and everything. I do have one question though. How many controllers are at each tower? Do you know that?
There are 3 right now at Oxnard Airport, and I don't know the total number at Camarillo. I do know that usually on a given shift, they have about 10.
So they rotate, someone made a comment about being a training tower. Do they rotate trainees through every month or every 6 months? Anybody know that?
They're often longer term
Okay.
positions, assignments.
And there are also, just for point, there's contract towers,
Right.
and then there's the FAA towers, and I think
Oxnard is a contract.
correct. So I think some of the training schedules are dependent on some of their kind of operational standards. And they did a great job too during the government shutdown, where they, had to, I think that needs to be recognized and acknowledged too. I know on the radio, we tried to do some of that, and we just give a couple shout outs to thanks for their time. So, I want to thank them again. That's great.
Amen to that.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We'll receive and file that report, and, as always, appreciated.
Just for the record, there is no public comment.
Is there any public comment?
No.
Thank you. Keeping me accountable. All right, so item number D, regarding the video surveillance. Item number.
Good evening, Casey Pullman, Deputy Director of Airports. This is an update on the video surveillance and access control system at both Camarillo and Oxnard airports. Before I begin, I want to clarify that this will be a high-level overview of our new surveillance and access control system. Given the security-sensitive nature of this infrastructure, I won't be discussing specific technical details, camera locations, or system capabilities in depth. Both airports were operating on surveillance and access control systems that were more than 20 years old, relying on outdated network infrastructure and technology. There was a clear need for modernization to meet current security standards for our airports. This project has been in development for several years and unfortunately has experienced delays common to large infrastructure projects, including the pandemic, staff transitions, standard government contracting timelines, and supply chain disruptions. The completed systems includes a modern high-resolution digital cameras at both Camarillo and Oxnard, updated access control hardware, and a secure network backbone designed for long-term reliability and future expansion. The total project cost was approximately $645,000, and installation was performed by Convergent Technologies. The physical installation is now complete at both airports. However, the system is still not yet fully operational. We are currently awaiting final pricing and configuration details for a long-term video storage capacity component. Once the storage solution is in place and we have completed full testing to ensure all the bugs are worked out, The system will be activated. Department staff have already been trained on the system operation in preparation for activation. So once we go fully live, we'll have several staff members already trained up and ready to go. The new system significantly enhances situational awareness and improves response capabilities. It provides an additional layer of security for both airports, our tenants, and the county. The system also strengthens our ability to document conditions and activities should an incident occur, thereby reducing risk and improving accountability. Here you can see there's a few pictures right there just of what the cameras look like. Again, not a lot of detail, but they're out there, and that's we're covering a lot of area on the airports. I'm happy to answer any questions, and keeping in mind the security limitations on what can be discussed publicly.
Well, I guess I'll take the first hit at this, since I've had to receive some noise relating to this topic a little bit. And I've got personal experience putting camera systems in a university, and I get parents and different people calling saying, "You're watching me all the time. We don't want to be monitored." And it's like, believe me, we're not monitoring you. It's there for safety and security if something does happen. So can you just speak to that a little bit? Because I know that that's the thought process of a lot of the airport tenants, that it's got punitive impacts, right? That, you're going to be able to watch people and what they're doing. And, my comment is, well, if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about being watched with. But can you speak to that a little bit in terms of like how the system is being used? Because that's been brought up to me on several occasions. They're honing in and zooming in on my hangar and watching my hangar for stuff I'm doing wrong. Or
Sure, yeah, that could be the assumption, but it's far from a reality. Really, we're kind of a passive system where we don't have operations officers monitoring the cameras 24/7. Our job is to, if there is an incident on the airfields, then it's something that we can go back and look at in order to find out exactly what the details were. And potentially if there was, somebody gets onto the airfield, where do they get on? Basic security measures. So we're not actively, just staring at the computer screens looking for something. We have other things to worry about. We do have the capabilities. We do have a couple of cameras where another component of this is that we're looking for wildlife out there. So if we see birds, if we see coyotes, whatever the case might be, we have that ability to look at the cameras and see, where they're at, where they're coming from. So again, this security system in general just helps us overall security and safety. But we're not actively staring at the computer screen.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification. I just think on the record, it's good, because I believe that if something happens to my hangar, I want to be able to say, "Hey, something happened to my hangar. Can you let me know who ran into it?" or blah blah blah. So anyway, thank you.
And if I could add to that a bit, again, think about what we're trying to do is the safety is the perimeter of it. We would never be able to see cameras pointed in everybody's hangar and see if that's just physically impossible. Our focus is the perimeter, as you mentioned. Should something happen on the airfield, we then can go back, well, who accessed the airfield along the perimeter, vehicles in and out, somebody jumping a fence, something like that. As mentioned, accidents on the airfield or wildlife or something like that. So that is our focus for sure.
Perfect. Are there any other questions?
Well, thank you, Keith, for mentioning about the access. My question was the access, the gate access part of this new upgrade?
Yes, that's correct. Access control system. That's the second part of that. So we do have monitoring at each gate. We have the capability to look at license plates if needed.
I better make sure my car's registered.
We don't care about that. We're
No,
just
I'm
making sure
kidding.
that you're authorized to be on there.
Yeah.
Will you ever have a thing where I can drive up with my car and read my license plate and opens the gate?
right.
Not yet. We're not.
Not yet, huh?
We're not that sophisticated.
Any other comments from the commission? Any public comments?
Great, great asset for active investigation is monitoring the runway itself. So figuring out what happens if you have high resolution cameras. Monitoring pickups and all these, you know, for the other runway as well. That's evidence.
That's part of it as well. If we have security footage that needs to be
Yeah,
turned into another entity, then we have those capabilities.
perfect. Yep. And just a reminder, any comments need to go through staff so we can have record of that, but we appreciate the input.
Yeah.
Cool.
And for the record, there is no online public comments.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Next item up. Thank you very much, Casey, for that. We appreciate all the work on that. Director's report.
Quickly, just a few items. An update on the beacon here at Camarillo. For those that haven't heard or don't recall, even though we have our beacon on the water tower here at Camarillo for 50 years, we found out 5 years ago that we didn't own the water tower. So the new owner wanted to try, I think started with a $10,000 a month rental fee to keep our beacon. We decided to install our own beacon. So we're in the process. We had a little hiccup with the beacon. It had some damage with the new beacon tower, metal structure, as you see. So it was installed and again, had some damage to it during the testing process. So sent it back to the shop and we're waiting for some redesign and before it comes back, and a new extended warranty is what we're looking for. But anyway, that's going near the fuel farm here at Camarillo next to the towers where that's going to be installed hopefully in the next few months. Happy to report Jeanette, who reported earlier, did some great work with the rest of our airport team of updating our new website, kind of minimizing, we had a lot of buttons and areas and kind of minimizing that. She had a new video done that is kind of a scrolling video of great stuff that's happening at the airport air show, some of the fire helicopter, sheriff helicopter operations, things like that. Some exciting stuff. There might even be a P3 in there from Oxnard.
A DC3.
What's that?
A DC3.
Yes, DC3, my apologies. Those kind of cool things that are happening at our two airports. And the last two items, our member of the public that mentioned, we have two RFPs that went out. Again, we've discussed it in the last couple meetings for properties. We had a couple businesses at Camarillo Airport that are interested in two separate parcels. A reminder that we're required by the FAA to entertain and evaluate those proposals. So we kicked out RFPs on those parcels. There is one parcel that has 49 small hangars on one of those parcels, which we understand is a concern of our tenants. And to be clear, as I've mentioned before, we would not entertain any development. And again, we don't know yet because we put it out to RFP, so we don't know what the proposals ultimately will be. But if there is a proposal that talks about removing or replacing those small hangars, we've already made it clear, actually in the RFP, that replacement small hangars have to go somewhere here at the airport. We understand that's still a concern with folks that have been here for a long time. But in that proposal, we also tweaked it as requested by the airport authority, that not only new development, but repairing the existing small hangars is an option. So there might be proposals to replace as is or build something new and then replace small hangars somewhere else on the airport, but also forcing or allowing folks to repair and making that a proposal to repair the hangars that are currently there. Reminding that there are 40-year-old hangars and we do have 15 of those 49 that are beyond repair and probably need to be replaced. And we do have on a month-to-month basis, or at least a yearly basis, some of those hangars, because they're 40-year-old, And the design, particularly the rain water runoff design was horrible. That they're forcing rusting in some of those. They were basically T hangers that are back to back. There was no drainage in between. So it's, it's 40 years of captured rain and even sheet runoff on the ramp that doesn't flow properly, that flows into the hangars. So those are the challenges we have with those. But that was a proposal in the RFP, soliciting for ideas or entities interested and willing to repair the hangars. So that RFP went out, and then there was a second one. The first one was just east of Air 7 here at Camarillo, that side. And then we have a parcel that's just east of Orbic Helicopter near the air traffic control tower. That is also on the RFP. So two separate RFPs went out within about a week of each other. So just wanted to share that.
The second RP, are they gonna go all the way up to where the bathroom is there? Is that what the?
I don't recall off the top of my head that it goes that far. It's up to the rows, some of the rows of tie downs, as I recall, but not all the way up to the
Would
bathroom.
there be any tie downs there anymore or?
That's all. I think all that stuff
They're
can
gonna
be
be all
found in the
there.
RF, in the
Yeah, it's in
RFP.
the RFP, so if you want to take a look, we do that, but there are tie down areas still there. And this is negotiable as well.
I know there's only like 4 or 5 airplanes in that area, yeah.
Yes.
I reviewed the RFPs just out of curiosity, and I think they're well written to elicit, the concerns that we're seeing from the hangar tenants. And as you mentioned, they seem to be written in a way that is broad, right? That is giving consideration to or looking for proposals that give consideration to the existing tenants, and the development is. I know there's a lot out there that, talks about what people believe is going to go in there, but the RFP basically leaves that open for the developer to kind of let the airports know, here's what our plan is. And I think it's the airport's job to review those RFPs to see what's best for the airports and all of that. So Jerry, I would recommend, taking a look at that. It defines, the specific locations, everything.
And that's a great point. If you look at the RFP, you also look at the highest, we have a ranking, even put the ranking and scoring, the top 30%, the highest individual area of ranking has to do with our stakeholders and consideration for our stakeholders, our neighbors, obviously folks in Old Town and Approach, but also our tenants that are existing on the airfield. So you kind of see the ranking that are a priority for us as we rank these various proposals, presuming we have multiple proposals. At this point, I went in there earlier and there was at least 20 entities that have pooled plans for the RFP process.
That
Are
is,
these, are these on the website or anything?
they are, it's a
They are,
very
but-
sophisticated drawdown system. It's meant to, for other, government projects. It's a well organized software, and you can see all the people that have downloaded the documents, what documents they've downloaded. It's so it's very transparent to see, who's interested. I would encourage, anybody interested in those projects, you can go on and see who's showing an interest.
Yeah, so that's on our website. You could go through it and it'll lead you to that site. Yes,
Okay.
and that's it.
All right. Any further comments from?
I have one question. What's the new estimated date for the new beacon?
At this point, again, what we're asking for is that they submit to us the contractor, the builder, if you will, of the metal structure, their design, what happened. We want to know what happened and why. And then we're sending that to our consulting team to basically evaluate their engineering.
So was it the testing during extension and retraction that caused the problem or?
Yes. So we want to see what happened and why, and then send it to our team of engineers to understand that so that we know that it's been corrected. We have things called Santa Ana winds and other things that will stress that structure in the future. So we want to make sure it's up to the task.
Okay. There's nothing further. Any public comment?
No, there is no public comment.
Okay. And item 9, just the reports. Any comments regarding the reports? Okay. And then we have various correspondence that hopefully everyone's taken a chance to review. And we'll, item 11, we have any commissioner comments? Okay,
I want to make one small comment. Last year when I became part of the board, I appreciate Keith spending 2-3 hours going over the bylaws with me and everything like that and pointing me in the right direction, make sure I have all the binders and everything so I can easily reference it. So thank you.
I thought about that too. And when you said that, I said, actually, Keith did take the time when I came on the commission to do that. So.
That was the old days.
what I'm trying to figure
Way to
out
go,
is
Keith.
how to raise more questions that get this kind of heat going on, for future meetings, because we've had more viral discussion than we've had in a long time. So I'll keep trying to think of questions to raise that are topics.
I mean, no disrespect to any prior board, but I think we have a great board here.
I 1,000. I think that's what I'm looking forward to, because I think there's a lot of leveraged, intelligence and experience that hopefully, to your point, Clark, earlier, we can, have that utilized more, or, figure out what to do, because, there's a lot of emptiness of that experience sitting here. All right. Well, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
All right. Motion and second. Have a good evening. Thank you for all in attendance.